Urgent Baltimore Ravens fans. Do not miss this. What just happened? You won't believe this one. But before we reveal the big news, make sure to subscribe to the channel, because here, we bring you daily videos with the latest Baltimore Ravens updates. And to not miss anything, activate the notifications. Alright, Ravens fans, buckle up because today we've got some exciting news that could have a significant impact on the team's future. As you all know, the NFL offseason is always a whirlwind of moves, signings, drafts, and strategic planning. And this year, Baltimore has once again shown us that they're serious about building a team that's not just competitive for now, but also sustainable for the long haul. We're talking about their approach to the 2025 NFL Draft, which, as usual, was nothing short of disciplined and strategic. The Ravens didn't go all in on flashy picks or reach for big-name prospects. Instead, they focused on depth, versatility, and talent, loading up their roster with players who can contribute right away and also develop over time. They went into the draft with a clear plan, and even after making 11 selections, they weren't done. The Ravens kept their eyes open for opportunities to improve their roster, especially along the trenches, which we all know is a critical area for the team's success. And just when many thought the draft was over, Baltimore made a move that caught a lot of attention, signing Jared Penning, an undrafted free agent from northern Iowa. This might seem like a small addition on the surface, but for Ravens fans, it's a move packed with potential and long-term vision. Let's talk a little about Jared Penning because he's a fascinating player with a story that fits perfectly into Baltimore's philosophy of building through development and versatility. Jared is the younger brother of Trevor Penning, who was a first-round pick for the New Orleans Saints. Trevor, as many of you know, has had his share of ups and downs in the NFL, but Jared's journey is different. Jared Penning played both right guard and left tackle during his college career at uni, which already shows us that he's a flexible, adaptable player, exactly the kind of guy the Ravens love to develop. He earned all-conference honors in college and was even on the Reese's Senior Bowl watch list, which is no small feat for a player coming from a smaller school like Northern Iowa. Now, even though Jared didn't hear his name called during the draft, that doesn't mean he's out of the picture. Far from it. In Baltimore, they see a lot of upside in a player like him. The team's offensive line has been undergoing a bit of an overhaul, and that's not just about plugging in starters but about creating a pipeline of talent that can step in when needed. With Ronnie Stanley's health always a question mark, let's be honest, Ravens fans, we've seen enough injuries to know that relying solely on one guy in a position as physically demanding as tackle isn't sustainable. Adding a versatile lineman like Jared Penning makes perfect sense. Baltimore's approach to rebuilding their offensive line has been comprehensive. They re-signed Ronnie Stanley, showing faith in his talent and potential, but they also drafted and signed other promising players like Emory Jones Jr., Carson Vinson, and Garrett Dellinger. Plus, they already have established contributors like Tyler Linderbaum, Roger Rosengarten, and Daniel Falale anchoring the line. This core, combined with the addition of Penning, signals that Baltimore is serious about having depth at every position along the line. You see, in the NFL, especially for a team like the Ravens that prides itself on a strong running game and a tough, physical identity, having multiple players who can perform multiple roles is crucial. That's why Penning's ability to swing between guard and tackle is so appealing to the coaching staff. At 6'5" and over 310 pounds, Jared Penning has the size and frame to handle the demands of the NFL. He's a technically sound player who can hold his ground against some of the league's best pass rushers. And more importantly, he's a grinder, a player who's willing to work, develop, and earn his spot. Entering training camp, he'll be fighting for a roster spot, no doubt, but the pathway is there. The Ravens love multi-positional linemen, especially those who can adapt quickly and bring a toughness that's hard to teach. With Patrick McCrary leaving for Jacksonville, the team's need for versatile depth along the line became even more apparent, and Jared Penning fits that mold perfectly. It's important to understand that Baltimore's philosophy isn't just about finding immediate starters. It's about cultivating a culture of development, where players can grow into key contributors over time. Trevor Penning, Jared's older brother, arrived in the NFL with a lot of expectations, and while his career has had its bumps, injuries, adjustments, and learning curves, Jared isn't arriving with those same pressures. He's got the chance to develop at his own pace, and in Baltimore, that's often the best environment for a young lineman to flourish. Let's take a moment to reflect on the bigger picture here. The Ravens' offensive line has historically been one of the team's strengths, especially during their Super Bowl winning seasons. Players like Marshall Yanda, Orlando Brown, and Ronnie Stanley have set the tone for physicality and excellence. But as the league evolves, so does the need for more flexible, multidimensional linemen. The addition of Jared Penning is a clear indication that Baltimore is building a future-proof unit, one that can handle injuries, scheme changes, and the relentless physicality of the NFL. Now, some of you might be wondering, what's the long-term outlook for Jared Penning? Well, the truth is that in Baltimore, development is the priority. They're not rushing him onto the field as a savior or expecting him to be a Pro Bowler overnight. Instead, they see him as a player with high upside, a project who can grow into a reliable, versatile lineman who can fill multiple roles when called upon. This approach has worked well for the Ravens in the past. Remember how players like Ben Powers and Patrick McCrary developed into vital pieces of that offensive line? Jared Penning has that same opportunity now. And don't forget, the Ravens have a rich history of turning late-round and undrafted players into key contributors. It's part of their DNA. They value the effort, the grit, and the willingness to learn, traits that Jared embodies. Plus, with the team's current roster configuration, there's a real chance for him to make an impact. The coaching staff will give him every opportunity to showcase his skills during training camp and the preseason. If he can demonstrate toughness, technical improvement, and the ability to adapt, he might just earn a spot on the final roster or practice squad, ready to step up when needed. Another aspect worth mentioning is the strategic direction Baltimore has taken in recent seasons. They've become known for their smart investments in both the draft and free agency, always balancing immediate needs with long-term development. The signing of Jared Penning after the draft underscores this philosophy. It's about adding depth without overextending, about finding hidden gems that can develop into starters, and about maintaining that competitive edge in the trenches. The Ravens have always prioritized a strong offensive line because they understand that everything starts there, protecting Lamar Jackson, opening running lanes for their backs, and creating a stable pocket for their passing game. Speaking of Lamar Jackson, you all know how crucial the line is to his success. His ability to extend plays and escape pressure relies heavily on having reliable protection. The Ravens have made it clear they want to keep him healthy and thriving, which is why investing in offensive line depth is a no-brainer. And Jared Penning's versatility aligns perfectly with that goal. It's not just about plugging in a guy for a year or two, it's about building a resilient unit that can withstand the rigors of a grueling NFL season and help the team contend at the highest level. Looking ahead, the Ravens' offensive line will be one of the most watched units during training camp and preseason. Fans are eager to see how Jared Penning performs, how he stacks up against other young linemen, and whether he can earn a spot on the roster. It's an exciting time because this team has a real chance to put together one of its deepest and most talented lines in recent memory. The combination of veteran leadership, young talent, and strategic signings like Penning creates a recipe for success. If everything clicks, the Ravens' offensive line could become one of the league's most formidable units, helping Lamar Jackson and the entire offense reach new heights. And remember, this isn't just about this season. The Ravens are building for the future, and players like Jared Penning are integral to that plan. They're developing a pipeline of talent that can sustain success over the next few years, even as the league evolves and other teams try to catch up. It's about creating a culture that values versatility, grit, and continuous improvement. The Ravens have always been known for their smart, disciplined approach, and signing Jared Penning is just another example of how they're executing that philosophy. So, Ravens fans, keep an eye on this story because Jared Penning's journey is just beginning. Whether he makes the team this year or continues to develop in the system, one thing's for sure. His story is a testament to the Ravens' commitment to building a resilient, versatile, and formidable offensive line. The offseason moves, including this signing, show that Baltimore remains committed to excellence, and they're doing everything possible to ensure their future is bright. As we get closer to training camp, the excitement will only grow, and I can't wait to see how these young players step up and contribute. And now, Baltimore Ravens fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this signing? Do you think Jared Penning has what it takes to stick around and develop into a key contributor? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the team. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, analysis, and all the latest news from Baltimore. Stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's keep cheering for our Ravens because the best is yet to come.